hello, hello.
Hey guys.
Can you guys hear us? Let us know in chat there if you can hear us. Make sure it's loud and clear. If you would please, Discord or YouTube. Yeah, I got us in Discord, they said. You have the agenda? I don't remember the agenda right now.
I got the agenda. Yeah. I got it.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is our monthly live stream for Apollo Automation. I'm Trevor. I handle a lot of the technical side of product development and firmware. And then you got Justin.
I'm Justin. Yep. Do mostly the manufacturing side, make the sensors, and do a lot of the stuff on the community side as well.
Yeah. And we've got, I think in chat, Smart Home Sellout. Another member of our team that helps out with a lot of support and Discord moderation. So you'll probably see him in chat on and off here. All right. So we just do these as company and product updates once a month. We encourage tons of questions for the people that are new here. You can post them into the chat we're on Reddit, we're on Discord and YouTube. You post your questions in there and we'll be happy to get to them as we go through them. All right. So first up, we got some progress updates. So as we've talked about the next few sensors that are coming up, we're working on a parking sensor. So this is a ultrasonic sensor that'll go right near your bumper of your car on your garage wall. And the top of it connects with a USB-C for a little LED array. And what you can do is it's battery powered, and you can set a park distance by clicking on the button. Oh, nice, Californian saying yes parking. Yeah, it's been very requested. But yeah, so you'll be able to pull your car in the garage the first time, touch a button on the device. It'll save your device's location or the distance. And then the next time that you come into the garage, it's going to detect your car entering, and it'll go from green to yellow to red to get you to stop at the right spot. It's really good for people with tight garages or potentially fridges or things like that in front of their garage or in front of their car. We went with an ultrasonic sensor, so it can get very, very close. There's a couple out there where people have built with using laser sensors, laser distance, time of flight, but the minimum distance is too far away. So this will let you get right up to the wall.
We had a funny story from a user who said that their spouse was continuously hitting their fridge in their garage, right?
I think we had something. That was their previous parking sensor was tapping the wall.
It was just hitting the refrigerator, so hopefully this will help solve that. Yeah,
very excited for this. We've got quite a large battery in it that we're working on right now. We've talked about it before, Justin and I hate changing batteries. And if the battery dies every month or whatever, then that's no good. So shooting for at least 6 months to a year of battery. Yeah, it's an 18650 battery. We decided to go with a charging circuit on the device. So you can either pull the battery out and go charge it, or you could pull the device off the wall and go plug it into USB. It also has a USB port if you don't want battery power. If you've got an outlet nearby, you could just plug it right in. So very excited about this. So the product update here, we're working on a few battery sensors. We're working on the parking sensor. We're working on a temperature probe. We'll get to that in a second. And a plant sensor, which we'll also get to. All three are our first entry into battery sensors. So really they're all kind of held up there. Working on the battery reporting component. So making sure that when it reports to ESP Home or Home Assistant that it's telling you the right battery and when it's getting to a lower percentage. That's the holdup right now. It is PCB day. We just got new PCBs delivered an hour ago.
That was a good day.
Which is the next version that will hopefully correct it. We're going to a max, I think it's called 1.7 something chip instead of what we were doing before. So very excited to get those tested out. I'll be testing them later tonight. And that's for both the parking and the temperature sensor. That's the final component on them, is figuring out the battery percentage reporting. There was a small problem with charging as well. We were charging at like over an amp which was too much for the circuit. So we decreased that down to be within the standard.
Just had a couple questions real quick about the max range. California was asking 4 meters, what I found on the data sheet. But the nice thing is the minimum is 2 centimeters.
Yeah.
So you get very
that's why I went ultrasonic for the very close detection. I've got a truck in most American garages. They're too tight. And I've got to be right against the wall to get my garage door closed. So 4 meter detection distance. I've looked for some longer distance ultrasonic sensors. If somebody knows of one, we could always look at that.
They're asking if the battery would be swappable.
Yeah. We don't want the battery, to have to be thrown away when the device, say it got too cold and it froze in the Arctic,
One of those Antarctic
parking at your igloo.
Yeah.
But, so the battery on the front, you could leave it in all the time, and charge it through the device. We've talked about, we'll get to the plant sensor again in a second. We've talked about people maybe wanting some extra batteries that you could keep one battery charged and you would just go swap it into the device. They just pop right into a little connector. So great question. Yeah, swappable. Yes, chargeable. And yes, it can work without a battery. We also are planning on the parking sensor to be an ESP home device, but also function without Home Assistant. So that's been a need for parents, grandparents, things like that who, they don't want to run an automation. They don't care to trigger something when they get home. They just want to not hit their garage wall. So it will be able to function perfectly fine with no internet connection, no smart home system. You just tap the button, it's going to save the position, and we'll make sure you park in the right spot every time. So thank you there.
I think we did solve the questions so far. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So second thing is the temperature probe. This was not really planned. The parking sensor was for sure planned. I don't know if you have the link to we need to post our product survey
I got a link.
form that we have. Justin will post it in chat here in a second. It's a product survey. It's on our website under future product survey. And that really helps drive our development, hearing what you guys are interested in.
Looks like Brandon already did. Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon. That really helps us drive what you guys are interested in, and drives our product development. So the temperature sensor isn't on there, but it's something that we thought would be pretty neat. And we were already working on some of the components for another sensor. And so the temperature probe, actually Kyle was the one that kind of brought it up, one of our
Good
friends.
buddy Kyle, yep.
He was like, man, I'd really like to know the temperature of my cooler or my fridge.
Deep freeze.
Yeah.
See if the power went out. See if my meat thawed.
Yeah. So I don't have a temperature probe up here with me, but the PCB just came in today. Very, very tiny. It is also battery powered. It's using not the 18650. I think it's like 16340. So about half the size of an 18650 cell. It's pretty tiny. Again, shooting for the 6+ months, 1 year battery life. And it'll have a little temperature probe that's waterproof, and it will let you put it into your fish tank and monitor the water temperature. It'll let you put it into your freezer or refrigerator. It's got a flat cable on it so that it's not going to build up frost. Same. It's in the same spot as the parking sensor. We're just trying to figure out the battery measurement component. And fingers crossed, hope for us that the version downstairs that I've yet to open up is the winner. That's all that's holding it up. Before we'll start beta testing those with our groups and trying to get some more final feedback before we release it as a product to everybody. Very excited about both of those, and I think they've got a lot of uses. We keep thinking of more and more uses for the temperature probe, monitoring, your 3D printer's print chamber. Like we said, fish tanks, pools, hot tubs, all these types of things that you could want to monitor the temperature on. Your refrigerator in, maybe a vacation home or something like that was a common request.
Yep.
So yeah. All right, we're moved pretty quick. So next up is the most requested sensor in our survey is the plant sensor. So this is a soil temperature, soil moisture sensor. It'll have lux, it'll have UV, it's gonna have a little buzzer, battery powered or USB powered. I'll circle back to that question.
Yeah.
We decided on the last stream, I kind of pitched to everybody that we were looking at maybe a little bit larger design across the top. So this is the stick that would go into the ground, and this would be right above the ground. And why we went larger was at this size, we can offer it with one battery, 2 batteries, or potentially 3 batteries across the back if you really don't want to change batteries.
Yeah.
And you should have really good lifespan on that. So we talked last time that a little bit bigger design people seem to be pretty okay with. We've talked about it a lot in our Discord, that the added benefit of getting the extra battery life is a big winner there. So that one has a new component, as in the moisture sensing component that we've not done. There are some out there. I think everybody's seen it. We've talked about them at length. These black small moisture sensors for plants. They're pretty cheap on AliExpress and such. We decided not to use one of those and decided to build our own for the moisture component, pretty much purely because the quality, if you look into any threads out there about the existing plant sensors, they don't last very long. They don't report accurately because they've cut down the components that are on it. So we decided to make a good quality one and bring that. So that'll be something that could take a couple iterations to figure out. Each iteration takes a few attempts going through the PCB system, and that each one of those is 2 weeks. So the plant sensor is behind the temperature and the parking sensor in terms of development. But we've got a couple in our Discord. There's a product development channel that has a few threads. We want any and all comments in there that you guys have as we're building these sensors. It's really paid off for us before doing community development and getting your guys' ideas of things ahead of time, so we make sure we make the right product. All right, it's a lot of me talking. There was a question about the DS, the sensor, right?
The DH. They're asking if it uses the DH22.
No, it uses the DS18. Oh man, I'm gonna blank on the name. DS18 something. DS18B20. DS18B20 temperature probe is what the temperature sensor will use. It's nice because it comes on quite a long cable and is waterproof. It's going to be used on the temperature probe, and it's going to be on the plant sensor. So we think that's a unique component, is offering the soil temperature along with ours. So you'll be able to have it'll be quite a bit shorter probe that'll measure your soil temperature. That kind of leads us into is the next one, the equipment, because we can talk about that. That kind of leads us into what we're looking for. I talked about the plant sensor, being able to measure indoor plants, but there's also, it would be pretty cool to be able to measure your grass and your lawn with that as well, the same components. Soil temperature plays a big component of when do you plant, new seed, when do you fertilize. You can measure, like I said, the UV components. And so one big aspect of that we have been working towards for months is getting into injection molding. Right now we 3D print our cases, as everybody probably knows. You can 3D print outdoor enclosures. You can put coatings on 3D prints to make them more weather resistant. But really the best route to have a long sensor that's easy to manufacture the case would be to get into injection molding. And so that's kind of our plan, is to start dabbling in that. We found a pretty cool company in Cincinnati that has a small small, like as in this way, like fits on a desk injection molder. Yeah, and it will be not only hopefully for the plant sensor and temperature sensor down the line, but it will hopefully make its way into the rest of our sensor components as we go. We really want to bring it in-house. We've talked to some people about having them injection mold it for us, and the cost per part was a little high, and we think we have a lot of control if we bring in the injection molding internally. So if anybody on these calls has injection molding experience, we would love to talk to you. They're quite small machines, so it's not as what most people have dealt with, which are big machines the size of minivans. So you have quite a bit of constraints on pressures and things like that.
Shot size, yeah.
But we're really excited to get into testing that and see how much we can improve our products with it.
Just getting comments. Rick saying, it's like, love to see injection molds for your sensors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, we would really like to offer that, especially for the waterproofing component, and then also for just making them look a little bit nicer. Yeah.
And then Brandon was just asking, like, would you be able to automate your foundation drip irrigation? With the soil sensor.
Yeah, a foundation drip irrigation.
Big in Texas, apparently, like everything else.
But yeah, that's a great use case, Brandon, for soil moisture is checking on that. So initially, these sensors are going to come out 3D printed. They're going to be, like I said, the plant sensor is going to be for indoor plants. Mm-hmm. The temperature probe is going to be for fridges, 3D printers, fish tanks, things like that. Our 3D files will always be open source and available. So if somebody wanted to 3D print them in PETG or better yet ASA and make a different enclosure that's waterproof, they'll be perfectly fine with that.
Oh, so Brandon sent the link. It's actually it's actual foundation watering for your home. Oh. I guess which would make sense in Texas or Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think we have that up here.
Not in Kentucky. Yeah, I mean it gets hot, but not that hot. It's mostly due to the humidity.
That is interesting.
Yeah, so I guess there are almost like in-floor heating or other,
Yeah, yep. Great. See, like great use cases, things that we would never think of.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, those are the 3 sensors that are in current development. Again, it's parking and temperature are the closest to being done. If we're lucky, we'll be asking for beta testers within the next couple of weeks. Plant sensor shares a lot of components with our others, but the soil moisture is new, and that's on us. So we will probably take some time to get that completed. And then after that, I don't know what's next. We really would like input on our product survey. We've talked about doing a plant watering component for the plant soil sensor. And so what that would be a little pump hooked up to a little bottle that when you detect that it is low, the soil is dry, you could just pump a little water into it.
That's right.
Yeah. We thought about that idea. Would love to hear if people are interested in that. We've thought, we've got a few things on the roadmap. A lot of things are in that product survey. We should probably update some of them because it says like air sensor, which we've already got. So
I think the other one was like the display.
Display. Yeah, that's another thing that we would like to look at. I want to ask for maybe the community, for people that are watching, if anybody knows, we would really like to make a UI add-on or a component package for Home Assistant to help bridge the gap of when people get air sensors and things like that and they don't know how to graph this stuff on Home Assistant's current dashboards. If anybody that knows how to make a UI component package, we'd also love to talk to them.
Yeah, it'd be nice, just especially for getting started.
Yeah, help people out getting started, because that's a big piece of this.
All right.
Okay, what else? Any more questions? Put them in the chat when we look at our
take a quick
agenda.
And
ultrasonic sensor from Code in Progress. Yeah, Are you talking the distance sensor? Like, would the parking sensor do that for you? Because, I mean, I guess technically, like...
Could just be a standalone.
There's no reason the parking sensor has to go in your garage. It could just be an ultrasonic sensor, a battery ultrasonic sensor. So, let us know, code in progress on ultra sensor, what you were looking for there.
Pat's asking about a garden hose valve, potentially.
Yeah, we've got a couple of those downstairs.
Yeah.
Was drip irrigation. I don't know if you're familiar with drip irrigation. That's more for watering like your landscaping, or it's used in greenhouses and things like that. We've got a few valves for drip irrigation and sprinkler valve control. Nothing more than ordering a few parts right now. I like to order them ahead of time so that I can get an idea of what they look like. But vote for it, and yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't announce NKD called us out in there. We didn't announce that we are live from Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes, from Lexington, Kentucky.
We didn't open
as
with
usual.
That. Live from Lexington. So, lots of applications for the ultrasonic. Lots of applications for temperature probe. Again, we're not just saying that we truly use that product survey guide and what you guys tell us in these chats to guide what we should build next. And so we're pretty busy for the next month or two, but then we'll be looking for what's next after that.
Some questions coming in. California was asking, like, his audio got muted, so he's like was asking what kind of UI library.
Yeah. On the Home Assistant side, so we really see ourselves, we help bridge kind of a gap in between people who know how to make PCBs or breadboards. We kind of help with that if people maybe don't have time or don't want to, able to learn or to have the time to learn, to build more of these, I don't know what you would say for call our devices, like really community driven and focused on what people actually want to use. And part of that is we're really surprised at the number of people who buy our sensors as their first sensor into Home Assistant, their first ESP home sensor. It is a very shocking number, which is really cool to see. But with that comes the learning curve of Home Assistant. Yeah. And we've helped a lot with, ESP Home is incredible with getting started. Yeah. Brandon is teaching people every day on our Discord how to get started and in other Discords. Yep. And the other piece is when they, we give this air sensor and it's got all these components, and then people say, okay, well, how do I make it? How do I know? Like, I want a graph. And right now it's a little hard to get a graph going, or pretty graphs and things like, with lines that tell you the thresholds and things. And so that's what we're kind of looking for in a UI package. Is to maybe help work with somebody on figuring out how can we make a little better package. I'll tell you my ideal would be just a few components, cards that you could put on your Home Assistant dashboard, and you would just click a little drop down when you go to edit, and you could select, I want the Workshop Air 1 to display CO2 on this. That would be perfect. Yeah. So
I don't know if I've seen anything like that.
I don't know. I'm
out
sure
there, but hopefully somebody has. Yeah, it'd be great to have.
That would be a great next step for us.
I mean, we're kind of talking about the starting Home Assistant. Yeah, don't have the actual thing, but
we did talk about this on the last stream, right?
Yeah, I think we announced it. Yeah.
It's an empty case, right? We don't have one up here.
It's downstairs.
But along those lines, we have started offering on our site an Odroid M1S. It's very similar hardware to other home automation hubs. It's going to come in a nice little white case, pre-flashed with Home Assistant, ready to go. You're just going to plug it in. It's going to boot up Home Assistant. And so we thought that was a good offering for other people that are looking to get into Home Assistant. Brandon is probably sending me mean memes right now for not talking about mini PCs. Mini PCs are another great option.
Very good option.
They are the end goal,
just to get started.
Just the cost is a little higher to get started. So we've got these Odroids on our site. If you know anybody who's looking to get started with Home Assistant, they're a great option. great option.
Yeah. People are wanting our store to kind of be a one-stop shop, so we do offer cables and front-facing USB-C wall chargers and a few other options on the store. That way you don't have to buy stuff from a bunch of different places. You can just get it all from us. Yeah. Prices seem pretty fair, and people have actually, as soon as we put them on there, people were like buying them up. So I was like, that works great.
Yeah, that was a good recommendation from you guys about plugs and cables, trying to make it a one-stop area for you at a fair price. Pretty sure we beat Amazon on plugs and cables.
Yes.
So that's nice.
That's good. We got
lots of stuff in the chat.
Yeah, no, it's getting wild in there. There were some questions here. Let's see. Brandon was just hitting on like the 4mm wave. People were using ultrasonic sensors for pretty much just a similar thing to detect people if they're on the toilet or something. Unpressurized sources, valves for regular household water. Okay, there you go, Pat.
Yeah. And Pat, that's kind of along the lines of what's required for drip irrigation, where the pump pressure behind it is so low. I think they're running on like 5-10 psi. That you have to have some special valves to be able to trigger those. So yeah, very similar.
Ridley's just asking about would we consider using Zigbee? For our products.
Yeah, right now we use a chip called the ESP32C3. It's only capable of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, but we've looked at a chip. It's the C6, which is the next generation that can do Zigbee and Matter over Thread. It's the only reason we haven't switched is it's more expensive. They're like $1 and some more, and we would hate to have to raise our sensor cost, just to like have this feature. So what we're looking at, maybe I have no Zigbee programming experience at all, is also another hurdle.
Yep.
So we've been talking about that internally. What we would do for Zigbee, we would probably offer, our sensors with that C6 specifically for Zigbee. They could be flashed for Wi-Fi, but we would have to get working with a Zigbee developer probably, because that's a pretty big learning curve.
Yeah. So if you know anybody,
we're happy to talk to Zigbee developers.
Yep. Always happy to talk with the community. And then Ridley was just adding, like, are our existing products done unless there are bugs, or are we working on them? Yeah,
good question, Ridley. Yeah. So, we're big on constantly improving. We don't want to fiddle with it if there's, no reason. So like right now, we went from the MSR1, it was great. There was, no problems needing to switch to the MSR2. But we just saw that we could shrink the size by roughly 30% on the vertical, or on the height, and add the back-facing mezzanine port, which opened up a lot of extra add-ons. Yeah. So I think that they're pretty stable there. I don't think we can make the MSR any smaller.
There was a user who was saying instead of using the 2410B, use the C, and then it could be even like a smaller square.
That's tiny. But yeah, I think we're pretty happy with them. I think we've kind of, with the mezzanine ports and the add-ons that we've offered and the add-ons that we're continuing to make, we're allowing a lot more modularity with our sensors than typical. So for instance, it's something we've been working on for a while that's not really close to being done, but a microphone add-on. And so what that would allow you to do is to take your MSR2 and just add a microphone port to it. Like your existing MSR2 and MTR and Air 1, just add a microphone. It's not close to being done. We've had a lot of problems with getting that running. But that's just an example of how we're kind of building in some modularity into our sensors. So it would take something like, a much better millimeter wave coming out for us to switch. Things like that. If you have any suggestions for additions to the current lineup or changes, we are not offended. We will take any and all critiques and suggestions.
That's why we're here. That's what we want.
I think we always say it in every stream that we are not the absolute experts of any of this stuff. So we will for sure take input.
I love to say we're just normal guys, just like having fun in the basement. We're just hanging out and having a good time and getting feedback from the community and doing whatever you guys tell us to do.
Yeah, first of 9. Yeah, new ESP supporting Zigbee. That's the C6. There might be a few others, but we like the C6. And yeah, Zigbee idea. Yeah. I think on our product survey, there's a "What's your favorite protocol?" question on there. That's another great place to let us know. And yeah.
First of 9 in Discord was also posting some of the really nice graphs that he's been working on.
We had been talking to First of 9. Username in Discord. He's got some beautiful graphs that he's making for the Air one. Yeah, First of 9. If we can find a way to package those up and make it a little bit easier for people instead of having to go in and edit all the YAML, we would love to talk to him.
And Brandon as well would love it.
Yeah, Brandon for the
He's
intro.
against having anybody edit the YAML if they can help it, which is good, which we completely understand. Yeah, look, Californian's got some cool looking graphs here.
Oh, those
that
are
he
pretty.
made. Oh yeah, I'm hoping that should be the Air One. Looks like it.
Hopefully
Yeah.
it's the Air one.
It looks good though. I really like the colors he's using. Do you have Californian? Can you post? I don't know if you have already, but post like the card you're using and the colors, the theme. Yeah. Oh, he did say it says Air One. So.
Any plans for PoE on the hub? On the hub. On the Odroid. Is that the Odroid hub? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
The Home Assistant hub. It doesn't have PoE on it, but a PoE splitter would work for it. So and to be clear on the hub, the Odroid, that's not something that we've designed. That's Odroid is kind of like a Raspberry Pi, but quite a bit more powerful on them. And so that's something we've bought off the shelf. We flashed it for you and put it into a nice case. And then we include the accessories to get started with it. So we won't be modifying that. Yeah. What else we got?
Actually, I think we have one over here. Let's see. Or Eric was just saying, great idea for the UI. Would help increase Wi-Fi for automation stuff. That was on that side. But then even more on Discord, we've got... let's see. Brandon was just asking if we could walk through some of the options for the mezzanine, like the male-female USB-C backport, the GPIO.
Yeah. The mezzanine has a lot of future options. We've got multiple GPIO, which means like input-output. We've got 3 volt, 5 volt. We got I2C. We've got a lot of stuff on there to be able to do kind of whatever we want with that port. And one thing that we recently, Brandon just wrote a cool little how-to on it, is the GPIO backplate. And what that is it puts a little header on the back of the sensor and allows you to then plug in your own things inside of the sensor. I think I've got... Yeah, I don't have one. But it allows you to plug things into your own sensor. Brandon added on an LED strip, which is pretty sweet. I think we've had a few users add on a few sensors, external sensors. So yeah, the plans right now, we were working really hard on the microphone port, but we had a lot of stability issues with that. We looked at a lightning sensor for a little bit, but really as long as it can fit on a small little square, we can pretty much get it on there. So yeah, good question.
And the guy who was saying, or Zach, he says his name here, Zach Barrett, he's the guy that graduated from UK.
Oh.
So he was working at Avicasa.
All right. Hey.
Come on, Zach. And he said he'd help us with the UI piece and reach out to some people there. So
yeah, Zach, let's connect after this. We'd love to talk to you. That's like we were saying, we were really surprised at the number of people who buy. There's people who buy our sensors, and we're kind of the first little more intense, I don't know what you say, more entities, more things to do with our sensors because they're multi-sensors. But there's also a huge number of people that will buy a sensor and then send us an email and say, how do I use it?
Yeah, I don't have
how do I get started?
Yeah,
and, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool that Home Assistant is improving so much over the years that it is much easier for people to get started with, and that is a path. It used to be a hurdle. So yeah, Zach, we'd love to talk about UI components. I know Home Assistant has put a lot of work into the dashboards. That seems to be a big hurdle for new users is nice looking dashboards. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, I got to speed up a little bit, I think.
And then Pat was just talking about residential plumbing and sump pumps and well water level sensors. And then, usually those live like in a basement where you'd want to monitor radon, carbon monoxide, that sort of thing, humidity.
Yeah.
So
we'll keep calling out to our audience because, hey, it might pay off here with Zach. It's paid off before. Radon is highly requested. We would love to do radon. I would love to have a radon sensor. I have yet to find a radon sensor that is I don't know what you say, like independently and well tested, that like we can, with some degree of certainty, know that the output of the radon sensor is good and or small enough or works with Home Assistant. I know there's like Radon Eye, which is like a Bluetooth, but that's kind of like a pre-packaged sensor. We're looking for something that like you could, we could hook up onto a PCB. I've done a lot of research on them and haven't really found much luck on it. That's the only thing holding us back there is the right sensor. All right.
I just realized Brandon posted that in right after.
Oh, Brandon's me. Yeah. He didn't want to hear us talking about the Odroid.
It's just getting started.
Just low entry, just like the Home Assistant Green. Zach says he's curious on the Green. Yeah, we've been in talks with Home Assistant, Navicosta, for a little while about getting some greens for our store. Yeah, very similar option. We're trying to get some greens. They're a great option as well. It's very similar to the Odroid. Again, it just went back to our site being a one-stop shop. We've had a lot of people who have been asking for kind of a getting started kit, and these Odroids were a good way. But yeah, green at $100 price point is fantastic. Yeah, we're a little behind in chat. Maybe 6 minutes
guys,
behind.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're catching up.
Looks like Brandon's just having some fun.
All right.
Looks
like ESP Home is working on Zigbee support. Yeah, I don't know exactly where they're at. They've got a lot of development going on. So
poor Jesse, KBX, those guys are swamped.
Yeah.
I posted this and then he asked for an update on Radom and just kind of touched on that.
Oh yeah, using the mini graph card. That's a great UI component. Card out there.
Thanks for posting that.
Continue on.
And
yeah, great idea, Brandon.
Yeah.
So again, with ESP Home and Home Assistant getting better and better and better, is OTA updates for our sensors. We are very thankful that they are supporting the manufacturers, us, small people, for making devices for their systems. So what the new over-the-air update system is, before, you used to have to download the ESP Home add-on and go in and update your sensor through there. Or you used to have to come to our flashing page to update your sensors. Now, starting Wednesday, Wednesday, whenever we push an update to your sensors out there into the cloud, GitHub, it will show up as like a Home Assistant update on your Home Assistant install. So it'll show up in your regular Home Assistant updates section that, hey, the Apollo Air 1 has an update, and you can install it if you want straight from there. You don't need the ESP Home add-on, which again is a great thing for most of our users, as it added kind of a little bit of complexity and confusion between them. So very excited to get those Wednesday. Look out for them and let us know if you have any problems.
Testing it today. I saw it. It looked amazing.
Yeah,
going to be so much easier to know when to update your devices.
Yep, the update went out to the Air 1 today. I just want to make sure everybody updates to it fine over the next day, and then I'll do MTR and MSRs tomorrow.
And then Zach came back, was just saying it'd be nice to see, out of the box microphone in case for voice assistant.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he says, they're actively working on that.
Nabu Costa's got a really cool microphone array coming up. It sounds like they're going to use the XMOS chip, which means they probably have a multi-microphone array, which is a pretty cool setup. It would be, very high quality. What we're talking about is like a single microphone on your ESP devices. The good thing there is, one, you already have Apollo devices that you can use. And two, the microphone, because we're doing a single microphone, it will be lower quality, but it would be quite a bit cheaper, I would imagine, and allow you to place them in different rooms and things like that. Don't know where we're at on it. Kind of lost some motivation on it because we were having so much stability problems.
We're not alone in that either. Yeah, I think it seems like it was a pretty... I just saw the Hostess live stream, though, and they were doing some live demos that looked pretty good with the S3 box. So maybe there's been some changes, or maybe in this...
Yeah. Excited.
This latest
excited for that
update. And let's see.
Oh yeah, California with aux out.
Yeah.
I wish I could build. I think it was like the Google Chromecast audios. It was just like a little device with an aux port out that you could hook into your sound system. It was great for multi-room audio.
Yep. They killed it.
But now it's not being produced anymore.
So I think there is somebody out there making them though, right? Or there's an alternative someone made. There may be an
There's
alternative.
a lot.
But we're working a lot with the 3.5 millimeter jacks.
Yeah.
So it may not be something we could just hop on there.
All right. Yeah. California with the Snapcast. Yeah. We were looking at that. Yeah, getting casting from your phone and things like that is a little tricky, but yeah.
And then
code in progress: a microphone outside of sound monitoring. Just voice is probably the most frequently used. I think that's I don't think that's what you were referring to with sound monitoring, but that would be able to be, say, in Nabu Casa's, it's Hey Jarvis and a few others that will trigger a voice assistant like your Google Home, but instead of it going out to a cloud with your data, it stays 100% local, all on your servers, which is really, really great. You don't have to worry about Bezos listening into your living room conversations.
And you can go, unless you've opted out of it, you can go onto like Google. I've done this before I opted out of it, but they record what you say, and it's on the internet. You go and listen to your voice saying stuff to your private personal Google Home. So it was very eye-opening.
Glass break sensor is another idea. I don't know if those microphones work for them or if they need something special for that, but yeah.
Oh, look, Hobby Boy. There
Hobby
you go.
Boy, good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah, it is You're the Voice, so hopefully, we'll get some stuff fine-tuned now.
Oh, we got Ross in Discord there too. Hey, Ross.
All right. Oh, is that Ross?
Yeah.
Canada, Arizona, all over Ross.
Where. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. California Chromecast audio. I think that was like one of the best solutions. Yeah. So I don't know how to make that. I don't know. We'll see.
Can't be that too difficult, right?
Yeah.
I mean, looks like he's using some Raspberry Pi 3s with Snapcast, and it's working. UI is not the best, but people just love it on Snapcast. Well, power monitoring gear. I mean, we touched on it before, but
we talked about power monitoring before. So that's whole home power monitoring, which would be a cable clamp-on system, which is nice. You get an electrician, don't do it yourself. You go into your panel and they clamp over the wire, and they'll tell you how much power each one of your circuits are using in your whole home. We started prototyping with that. Brandon says I did my own clamp. Yeah. We just can't tell you to do your own clamps.
Yeah. Yes.
And the problem we hit there was we want to do it the right way, which is getting them certified. There's a lot more responsibility in putting something in your electrical panel that we make than there is for just our regular millimeter wave devices. So that's the only thing there is we want to get UL or some of the other certifications, which we can always do. And I think that's a good idea.
Yep. And then you said it would be smart. Obviously, I don't think there's another one that you can flash some of the ones that are out there, but I saw that the process is pretty tedious and that it's not always the best, but it would just work like our other sensors do.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're pretty much caught up on questions.
Yeah,
We'll
got about 15 minutes left.
All right. But yeah, I mean, we had next thing we had like the redesign. We have our website redesign we've been working on with the Fell. We have maybe some new branding. We talked about keeping the dog. It looks like we are keeping the dog in just like a different way.
Abstract way.
But so we should be releasing that here pretty soon to kind of see what their response is and everything. But
the dog is really cute. It's my dog, obviously.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of people think that we only make pet sensors.
Yeah, or you guys a pet company, or what do you do? Pet food. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're gonna modernize it a little bit, get a new little logo. Yeah,
because that was just,
new
most
website.
of the stuff. Yeah, Shopify. The theme was like free. Everything we did was just like through like free Canva, free Shopify, and so now we're trying to do some actual real things.
Yeah, go quick. Partnerships. Okay, this is a big one. I don't know who all is on here. Europe, it's kind of an odd time, but Australia, we make this a good time for you, I think. So Europe and Australia, which is quite a bit of our business, we promise we do hear that shipping time of 30 days, the frustration with customs, the shipping costs. Yeah, like I get that is not fun. We're at an odd size where we're growing quite well. We're producing a lot of sensors, but we're not big enough to get in with a lot of the global distributor systems. We've got a few of our European distributors and things like that help out significantly. But recently we've been talking with Smart Home Australia. He's a YouTuber. He's got some really cool content, and in his name, he lives in Australia.
Yep.
That we might be able to, we've been trying to figure out how we can work together. He really wants to help bring more devices to Australia because it is a very hard market to get to. And yeah, we do hear you guys. We promise that we've been working very, very hard on international solutions. That is very complicated. But yeah, with Smart Home Australia, I think hopefully we'll be working on something here pretty soon to help you in Australia get sensors much quicker and for much lower shipping costs.
Yeah, Paul was saying like maybe 1-2 days for like the metro areas in Australia, which would be significant.
Yeah.
Considering now.
Yeah, we still got to work some stuff out. We got to get some tests done, but it seems very promising and we're excited. Again, that's where like your guys' feedback is great, and that really helps drive because we have no idea like the pain that it takes to get a sensor in Australia because they're here.
Yeah.
And so
he gave us good feedback too about our wiki. We had no idea that our wiki page loaded slow. He was saying it loaded slow in Australia.
Yeah,
so
we're working on that. I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed our wiki being slow overseas, and well, I guess for you guys it would be in your home countries.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to find some solutions for distributing that better so that it loads quickly wherever you're at. And that was great feedback as well.
Yep, that was awesome.
What else we have?
It was the most recent updates on the USB-C, the male adapter.
Yeah, so we've talked about that in our Discord a little bit, is the back-facing male connector for the MSR2 and the MTR, and that it doesn't work with the Anker or a few other types of plugs. I'm really hitting my head against the wall. I'm not sure what's causing this. We've been through 3 PCB designs now trying to think of what could be the problem. Because it's a very simple circuit. It's just we're just passing power through to the device. It has something to do with the like smart charging functionality of them that I think I've got to reach out to some more people and try to figure out why does Anker and a couple others not want to send the power only without the data. Yeah, it works with the plugs that we have on our sites. Those are perfectly fine. They're dumb plugs. They don't do smart charging. So really trying to figure those out. I apologize. Anybody who has one that was looking to use it with an Anker, let us know. We'll always help you out with whatever solution. And we're looking at them. Like I said, I just really don't know what's preventing those from wanting to charge. So. All right. Yeah, first of 9, throw the wiki behind Cloudflare. Yeah, we've also been looking at switching the wiki. Right now we use Bookstack, which means it's with Bookstack only we can edit it, like people who log in. I would really like to move it over to a GitHub hosted solution. We've had a lot of code contributions in the last few weeks. Yeah. I've been slammed with the new update system and haven't gotten to a couple of them, but we really appreciate code contributions. That's awesome. And if we get the wiki into GitHub as well, then we could have some GitHub contributions that if you notice something was wrong and you feel like you would like to help out, then you could edit it.
Yeah, so it makes it easier for people to help us, edit it if we miss something. Then also if they're like globally distributed, or should load very quickly for everybody everywhere.
Exactly. All right.
But California, I guess, apparently saying that GitHub wiki is pretty limited. You can't do tables and contents.
Sorry. So California the way I'm leaning is for MK Docs with a material design theme on it. And then it's just the code that runs the wiki would be hosted in GitHub. That's what I'm looking for it there is that solution. So then somebody could directly edit into the markup that's on there to make edits for the site. And say you would make a pull request and say Trevor doesn't know how to spell, and then put in my correction that I've missed. So yeah. All right,
and then just enhancements on the workshop, and we talked about the injection molding. We have been doing a lot of designing of the workshop and moving stuff, building shelves, and
it's good. Good growing pains. Every 3 months or so, we look at our workshop and Justin's tripping over things, and there's mounds of packages. Yeah. And then we spend a couple days organizing, and we think, oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah, this will be great.
And then 3 months later, we have grown and need more space and more space. Yeah, so we're still working out of the basement workshop right now, and moved to the basement side.
Expanded, yes. So we have 2 doors open now and new building area. So, but yeah, we'll have an updated video.
Yeah, we should do a video
soon,
for that. Yeah, I think that was well reviewed.
Yeah. And then just the Air 1 PCB.
Oh, before that though, I do want to say thank you. I don't doubt she's watching, but Missy was nice enough to announce our live stream on their Discord over in Home Assistant and ESP Home, I think, maybe just Home Assistant. Missy's not watching this, but you guys probably saw Missy on her live stream.
She might be on here.
You probably see Missy talking on Discord or Reddit. What a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, great community manager doing awesome stuff. What a great
community manager, Missy. Yeah. So
helping us out, which is very, very nice.
If you ever see her interact with her online, she's doing an incredible job, and it is not an easy job that she's got managing such a large community. So great job.
She gave us an official account, Flare on Reddit, which is on the subreddit, which is nice too.
She's been so helpful to us. Yep. Smaller manufacturers, right? Like, we're not. Oh, this is going to go straight to her head. It's okay. She could use it. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
It's all true. Code in progress.
This is the the LTR 390.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Somebody mentioned on one of the
the post, the Reddit.
Oh, the Reddit post about the
Lux sensor.
About the Lux sensor. For some reason, if you just change the update interval, I don't know if anybody has their light sensor that doesn't update in Home Assistant. There is, we've got a little wiki article on how to adjust the update frequency, and that seems to snap it out and work just fine in Home Assistant. We should probably raise a GitHub ticket on that for ESP Home to maybe check if it's. It seemed to have come up when they switched the
value. Like it used to be
back in January. There was a firmware change to the LTR on the ESP Home side. I don't know if it's related or if it's something with ours, but something we could talk with them with.
And Brandon posted the little snippet of code there, so you can put it in your YAML to help hopefully wake it up. I'll reply to this.
All right, 5 minutes. What else we got?
The Air 1 PCBs and just what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay. So we did have some problems with some Air 1 PCBs. It was a design oversight. So there was one batch of Air 1 PCBs where the Air 1 has very, very poor Wi-Fi performance. it ended up being in PCB design. There's an exclusion zone that you can put it, so then like none of the copper goes into that zone, and it's just the fiberglass. We had that underneath the antenna, but for some reason on a batch of Air 1s, that exclusion zone did not get honored, and it essentially wrapped the antenna and think of like aluminum or copper
Faraday's cage almost.
Faraday cage. Yeah. So we ended up cutting the area out, which is the recommended. I don't know why we had that on the Air 1. All of our other sensors, it's cut out. So we do have that. We got a new batch of PCBs that are coming in a week. We will obviously warranty any Air 1 that you guys have that is having a Wi-Fi problem. If you are one of those that are affected, just let us know. Send us an email at support@apolloautomation.com, and we'll get you taken care of. It seems to have been a handful here and there, but yeah, JLC, yeah, that's thank you, Brandon. It's nice to make humor of it.
Yeah.
That they thought we liked copper.
Yep.
And yeah, they gave us a little bit extra. So, I don't know how many people have had it or noticed. It's not all of them. I don't know. So if it has occurred and you say, hey, I'm having a lot of dropouts or whatever, just let us know. We'll get you a new one and get that fixed. And
I think, some people, it's a DIY community. Some people have opted to just get an updated PCB that's flash, already ready to go. Just needs to just be swapped, not hot swapped, just, swapped. And you should be good to go. And then others who aren't comfortable, we can just, exchange the device. Not a problem.
All right.
And then there's Brandon just saying, yep. Also, real quick, wanted to touch on, we have LAN War coming up. It's the gaming LAN we talked about last time. It's coming up at the end of July. We'll be sponsoring it. It's 4 games of gaming, and we'll have a booth there. We'll be there. You can meet us, and we'll be gaming as well. And we'll have a little booth set up. You can buy some sensors, or we'll have some displays displaying the air quality in a large LAN room. So if you've ever wondered how the air quality is in a room full of 300 plus people, gamers especially,
for 4 days.
For 4 days, we'll see the air quality from that.
Yeah.
So, but we're pretty excited. So if you want to go, sign up. There's about 3 weeks left. I just posted a link in Discord and YouTube.
Yeah. What Brandon asked something about pollution there.
Yeah. We are gonna have the methane sensor on it, just in case, just to see. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, we're at the Air 1 around the place. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you want to?
We got just a couple minutes left. I did want to bring up one thing we brought up on the last one, which is an idea we've got for I think this first home assistant ornament that we were going to look to design and do as a kind of charity function this Christmas. So it's an idea that we had. We wanted to do it this past Christmas. We just weren't ready for it yet in terms of our product development. But I'm working on essentially an annual Christmas ornament that'll have a tiny little coin battery, probably a little ESP chip, and some lights on it. They'll be in a nice little grid, like lights as in they'll look at Christmas ornaments on the design on the PCB. You'll be able to tap a button. We'll probably add GPIO on the back that you could solder to if somebody wanted to put like a little low power radar
or LED. You can power your strip
to plug in,
just like Braden did.
But anyway, we really want to do that to help out, and think it'd be a cool project to make them put a little Apollo 2024 on the back. It'll have LEDs that are RGB. We've already displayed how those will work on our parking sensor. And then, sell them and donate the profit to some different charity organizations that we can find around here. So if anybody has any ideas on those, let us know in our Discord or anywhere that you want to talk to us. But yeah, I think that's a project to be looking out for that we're going to try to do this year. So, yeah.
I think that's
all right.
Yeah, is that pretty much everything on the agenda?
Yeah, we're right on time.
Yeah, right.
Last call for comments.
Any
we really appreciate you guys coming. Yeah, if there are ever topics you want us to cover in more detail, we are more than happy to. In terms of product development, or what our sensors are, the future, how we manufacture, what our plans are for the future. If you post anything, we should probably have a live stream chat. I don't know if it's live stream, but feel free. If you have topic suggestions, we will take them for sure.
And Ross is saying Happy Independence Day. That's right.
Yeah.
July 4th for us here in the States is Independence Day. So hopefully everybody has a good holiday. Be safe. Be safe with those fireworks.
Keep your fingers.
Keep your fingers. You can't DIY if you don't. Well, can't do it as well. But
yeah. So be safe, and thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you guys very much.
We'll see you guys. Bye.
All right. Have a good night.